Hey, what's up everyone? We're Colin and Samir and welcome to our studio.
We make a show here called the Colin and Samir Show, where we interview other creators about how they run their businesses, and you're actually sitting in the seat of a guest right now. So if you look down, you'll see the microphone, and if you look up, you'll see the lights.
Okay, so this tour is fully immersive, and there's a few different ways that you can watch. The first is if you're watching on your phone, you can actually move the phone around and look around the room. The second is if you're watching on desktop, you can grab the frame and move the frame around to look around. The most immersive way to watch this is with a VR headset on, and that'll give you the feeling of actually being here in our studio with us.
So we're gonna show you each room in our studio. We're gonna show you how we make our show, and we're gonna bring you a bit behind the scenes of how we're filming this tour.
All right, so look around this room, because we're actually not gonna come back here for a little bit, and we're gonna start the tour where all of our ideas start. All right, let's do it.
You are now in our kitchen space, and we intentionally designed it to look and feel like a coffee shop, because for Samir and I, we didn't have an office for the majority of our career, and we would just actually work out of coffee shops.
So we would always meet and have a cup of coffee and a conversation. If we were energized by the conversation we were having, that was a good signal that we should go out and make a video about that topic. And that's the same thing that happens here. All of our show ideas start here, cup of coffee, conversation. If we're excited about it, then we go and we make that episode.
Yeah, a conversation we're having a lot right now is about immersive filmmaking like this. So while Samir makes me a cup of coffee.
Makes you, wow.
Makes us a cup of coffee, sorry.
There's more people here, Colin.
There are more people here. I'm gonna tell you about what we're using to film this tour. The camera body is the EOS R6 Mark II, and the lens is one of the most unique lenses we've ever seen and that we've ever had as a part of our toolkit. This is the RF 5.2 millimeter f2.8 L dual fisheye lens. Take a look at this. Look how interesting that is. And one of the most amazing things is that we can take this camera, which we shoot photo and video with, and pop this lens on. All of a sudden, we have the same camera, but we're able to shoot immersive 180 VR like we are right now. So just such a simple addition that opens up an entire world of storytelling for us.
I feel like the next chapter of what's happening here on YouTube, what's happening in the creator economy, is very much about depth. Building depth with your community, building depth with your audience, and bringing your audience into your actual experience. There's no better way to build depth with a community than that.
Now, what's cool about 180 VR is that from a workflow perspective, there's no wasted footage. And from a storytelling perspective, it's a lot more natural to how we actually experience the world. Like right now, I'm talking to you, there's no reason to see what's happening behind you. So as filmmakers, we can be a lot more intentional with what we want you to see and where we want you to look.
All right, coffee is done. And
here you go.
All right, so this is what the rest of the room looks like. This is the biggest room in our studio, and we call it the Great Room.
We have never called it that. It has never been called the Great Room.
You do not know that, Colin?
I don't think we've ever given it a name in full transparency.
To them, it's the Great Room.
Okay.
Okay, so what happens?
Welcome to the Great Room.
So what happens in here, we have a big couch over here. If you look that way, you can see it. We hang out with our guests on this couch before we head into the studio to record. We also take our photos on this couch. So if you've seen on our Instagram when we promote the episodes, all those photos are taken right over there on that couch. If you look that way, over here, you'll see our yellow Publish Press mailbox where we have our newspapers as well as our projector. So all these pieces of the couch can move. We sometimes put the projector on this big wall, watch our videos back or watch other shows.
So we talked to you about how we're filming this tour right now, but I want to talk about how we're recording audio. We're using this microphone to record ambisonic sound. So the same way that the visuals are immersive, the sound is immersive as well, especially if you're in a headset. You probably heard Jesse just walk down the stairs. And we're in a busy area of Venice right now, so you may hear garbage trucks outside or an airplane in the sky.
So I'm gonna put this mic down here. One of the interesting things about sound in immersive filmmaking is that it can cue you where to look. So if you can hear my voice travel over here to the couch, that cues you to look this way. And you can hear on the other side, as Jesse's setting up the lights, you can hear him, so you can look over to Jesse as well. So it gives you this experience of being able to look around a room, especially when action is happening like this.
And from a storytelling perspective, this is such an interesting and unique way to actually bring you into our world of what it looks like when we actually take photos with our guests.
Okay, cool. So now we're gonna go upstairs that way. If you want, you can turn your head and watch us go upstairs.
You want to race? Welcome to Jesse's office. After we finish recording an episode of the show, Jesse brings the footage up here, he syncs it with the audio, he colors all of the footage, and he cuts the angles.
Okay, so the perspective that you have right now is that of a backseat editor, which is what every editor loves to have. Someone right over their shoulder, waiting for them to be done with the project.
Not true, not true. No one likes a backseat editor, but it does happen.
It happens because after we film something, we want to see what the footage looks like. We're just really excited typically. And some of that creative energy is important, of like filming, looking at the footage, getting excited about it. And one of the things that we've been thinking about since we started playing around with immersive filmmaking is that in the past, this process felt really complicated and overwhelming to us, especially the post-production process when it came to VR.
When people were using words like stitching, like you have to stitch the footage, no thanks.
No thanks.
Scary word.
Now, though, it is a lot simpler. So if you use Adobe Premiere, there's a plugin called the EOS VR Premiere Pro plugin. It makes it really simple. Or like what Jesse's using right now is EOS VR Utility, a software that just allows you to edit VR footage really seamlessly. So we just shot this and now we're upstairs checking it out. That's a lot of the part of the energy of the studio that we want to keep. All right, this is not the only place where post-production happens. So let's check out this room.
This is our main post-production space. Now, if you look up, you'll see we have some skylights here because we really like having a lot of natural light, especially in the main area where we edit and spend the majority of our time.
Yeah. If you look over here, you'll see me on this yellow couch. We've had this yellow couch for years. And it's here because this is the space, if in any creator company, this is the space where you're gonna spend most of your time, is actually making the videos. So right above me, this is actually really cool. One of our editors, Chris, did all these illustrations of historic moments in our career over the past 2 years. And over there where Colin is, there's a little mini basketball hoop. I always try and make it from this spot right here. This could be the day. Oh my, that was pretty close.
Yeah, for the record, I've actually never seen Samir make a shot, ever. So what we've learned from experimenting with immersive filmmaking is there are a few things you can do to make it a lot more enjoyable for the viewer. The first is that we've always wanted the shots to be very stable. So we put the camera on a tripod and we use an arm to extend the camera out so that if you have a headset on and you look down, you can't see the legs of the tripod. That way it's just fully immersive.
So the second thing is that because this is a very wide angle that we're at right now, it's kind of tempting to get close to the camera, but again, in a headset or even on your phone or however you're viewing this, it kind of feels like I'm in your face, and you don't want that in an immersive experience. The best practice is to put the camera on a tripod and just place the viewer into a scene. That can be behind the scenes at one of your shoots, it can be in your space, but whatever you do, just place the viewer in your scene and let them look around. All right, so now we're gonna go over here into Colin's office.
Arguably the coolest office in the entire studio. Okay, in this room, I will design our thumbnails for our YouTube videos. I'll do the majority of my editing in here. And Samir and I will also go over some of the more minor details of our episodes before we put them out.
So one thing you've probably noticed in this tour is that we have not shown you a space for my office. It's because I don't have one. I kind of just move around the studio and spend a lot of time sitting in this chair right here. Now, I got my phone open, and what I'm doing right now is looking at the Canon Camera Connect app. I'm gonna show you what I'm looking at actually right now, right here. So you see this rounded box right here. that's what's called the magic window. So when you're shooting in VR, what's really important is you want to know what's in frame, especially on YouTube. That's what the magic window tells us. It tells us what's in frame, what's immediately in the shot. What's really interesting about immersive filmmaking is that it's also important what's out of your magic window, like what's out of frame. That allows you to cue the audience. Like right now, I can cue you to look at something that's outside of that window. If you look up and to the right, you'll see our 1 million subscriber play button. And you can look back down here where I'm speaking to you, again, back into that magic window. So that's the thing about VR filmmaking, immersive filmmaking, is actually a lot more interactive. There's an interplay between what I'm talking about, what I'm cueing you, and how you're moving your head in a headset, or how you're moving a phone, or how you're looking around the frame on desktop.
And one of the really great things about the app is that you can also start recording from the app. So you can see everything that you want in frame, you can make adjustments, and then you can just click record right there on your phone.
All right, should we go back down to the set?
Let's go down to the set.
All right, back down here in our set. Now, this set has been a long time coming and honestly a dream come true for us. When we first started making YouTube videos, we actually shot them out of Colin's car. And that was because that was the most consistent set we could use and also the set that we could afford. As things started picking up for us, we moved into a smaller studio space, but it was so small that we actually had to put together the set and take it down every single time we shot.
If you watch our episodes from back in that studio, every episode looks different. The cameras were in different places, the lighting was different. It's so inconsistent.
And as we moved into this set, consistency was really important. But even more so, what was important for us was this philosophy of shortening the gap between ideation and creation. So if you look around right now, you look at the lighting grid up top, or look at the cameras over here, or the control center over there, everything is built to just remain here and allow us to walk in this room, flip on the lights, and start recording immediately when we have an idea. And that's what's really exciting about this moment in time for creativity. If we're excited about something, we can just make it and we can just put it out ourselves. And something that's really fun about this time right now is that we get to create content not just for an audience, but with an audience. And that's what's cool about immersive filmmaking. We get to collaborate with all of you in a way that we couldn't before.
Yeah, for us, whether we're making a short documentary or we're recording a conversation here for a podcast, it's always just about sharing perspectives. And the really cool thing about the RF dual fisheye lens is we can use it as a tool to directly share a perspective. And we're able to do that in a way we could not have done it before. Even right now, you are looking at us from the vantage point of Samir's seat, where he actually sits when we record our shows. And you can get a sense, a little bit of what it feels like to be Samir in that moment, looking out and looking at one of our guests.
Filmmaking and storytelling is changing. And right now, digital creators are at the forefront of experimentation, of pioneering new ways to tell stories. So if you're interested in immersive filmmaking, you're interested in this lens, then there's more videos to watch here on Canon USA's channel. If you want to check out our show and watch one of our interviews, go to Colin and Samir, check that out. And if you want to try this lens out yourself and you have an EOS R5, R5C, or R6 Mark II, you can just buy the lens and it'll work with your camera body. All right, good luck. I don't know why I said good luck. Whatever you're doing though, whatever you're doing right now, good luck. Okay, subscribe to this channel. We'll see you later.
Thanks for watching.